Now we are ready to start the next session, the Green Pitch competition. We would like to invite to the stage moderators for the session, Mr. Victor Kiprop from BBC Africa and Mr. Ozal Zesha, YEI Advisor Pakistan and young entrepreneur. Please welcome to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Come on, I need more energy. Hello. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna need to ask some of you are a bit far behind to move a bit closer so that we can move together. Is that okay with you guys? Please move a bit closer so that we can start together. Thank you very much. Okay, that's my request number one. Request number two, I think we have exhausted the serious sessions in the morning, the serious technical, type of suit kind of sessions. We are here to have fun and get to see the best of today's young people who are changing the world. So I'm gonna need you to bring on your smiles, bring on your energy, because this is a different session. Thank you very much. And once again, a very good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for joining us this afternoon for the 2023 Youth Ecopreneur Award final pitching session. My name is Victor Kiprop. I am a journalist from Nairobi, Kenya, and I will be one of the moderators. Thank you.
My name is Ozal Zesha. I'm from Class Notes. I'm an entrepreneur myself and have helped more than 25 million students get access to educational resources. And I'm also very excited to be moderating this event with Victor.
Awesome. Can you guys give us a clap? I promise you the remaining claps won't be ours. It will be for the competitors and the judges. So thank you very much. And as we begin, once again, a reminder, we're really excited to be here today. The competitors have been waiting for this day. The judges have been waiting for this day. We have been waiting for this day, and we hope you have been waiting for this day, and it's here. Thank you very much. So this afternoon, we are privileged to have with us 7 finalists. 7 finalists who are going to compete in 2 categories. That is green business solutions as well as land restoration. And guess what? The winner will be walking away. The winner from both categories, remember, the winner will be walking home with $5,000 worth of investment in their businesses. And that's not all. That's not all. We are going to have access to Google Startups for Sustainable Development program for the winner as well as all finalists. And because we don't want to reward only the 2 winners, we believe the 7 of them and the rest who even competed before this stage are all winners. So we are going to give the 7 finalists pitch training, capacity building, specialized support on intellectual property protection, pro bono legal services, and international exposure. And guess what? This is courtesy of all the partners of the International Trade Center. And I would like to just show you on your screens right now. We'll start with the G20 Global Land Initiative, the International Trade Center, of course, the main organizer, the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, Google Startups for Sustainable Development, as well as Sidley. And the other people who have made it possible for us to be here this afternoon. But before we start focusing on the 7 finalists, there was a journey. Tell us about the journey.
So the 7 finalists that you see over here, they were selected from an applicant pool of more than 400 applications that were received from a call for application, which was released in April by the YEI community. Now, YEI community is an initiative of the ITC, which empowers more than 24,000 entrepreneurs from across the world. Now, these 400 applications were passed through multiple rounds of judging, and the ones that you see over here, the top 7 finalists, they are the creme de la creme that we selected from that pool.
Creme de la creme, creme de la creme. So I hope you guys are ready. We are going to be listening and hearing very interesting pitches about young people who are ready to change the world. Just a reminder, our world today is facing so many challenges, conflict, so many crises, pandemics, and we need young people to step up, to step forward. And luckily at the International Trade Center, we believe in the power and the potential of young people to create their own solutions to the most pressing challenges of our time. And do you know why? Because just about half of the world's population today is under 30. So if you really want to change the world today, young people are the people who are going to lead that change. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, a reminder, the winners today in the two categories will walk away with $5,000 investment in their business along with other goodies. But for us to be able to do that, then we will need to select who are the best. And to help us select who is the best this afternoon, we have an esteemed panel of judges who will help us, and they have rich experience in doing this kind of exercise. Allow me to introduce them to you this afternoon. Oops. Sorry. I'm not sure it's... Oh God, my sensor is not working. These things happen on the stage after practicing the whole morning. Thank you very much, but we have it finally. On my far left, just next to Ozal, Mr. Andrew Ong. Clap for him, please. Yes, is the regional director of the Regional Bureau for Asia and the Pacific for the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. What do you remember about WIPO? One of our biggest partners this afternoon. Thank you very much. Also joining us this afternoon, part of the panelists, Ms. Diana Caballo, Program Manager, Sidley Austin LLP. Please clap for. And next to her, of course, Paula Padrino Villela. She's the Program Manager for Land Restoration at the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Please, we need a heavier round of applause. Come on, guys. We're only beginning. And finally, this is my right here, Mr. Vedant Gandhi is the co-founder and director of Recyclex. And I think I also know something else about you. Should I say it? Previously a winner. Thank you very much. And just a reminder. Oh, I haven't. Please come beat me already. I haven't introduced one of our judges. My apologies. Mr. Alan Twanda Majuru is the Chief Executive Officer of Zimtrade. A bigger round of applause to make it up for my mistake. Thank you very much. And those are the judges who will lead us this afternoon. But there is a criteria. They are not just going to pick you dependent on your height or the fancy name of your business. There is a criteria they will follow. Please talk to us.
Now, the seven finalists that will pitch today, they will be judged on the following judging criteria. They will have to convince us about the problem and how big it is, the solution and how innovative it is, the competitive landscape of their industry, the market opportunity that they are going for, the team and their competencies, the green impact that their business has the potential to create in this world, and finally, their call for action and the investment needed that they want to scale their business. Now, finalists, please hear these rules. You'll be given 3 minutes for the pitch. For the question and answer sessions, you'll be given 7 minutes, which will be followed by the pitch. While you're giving the pitch, you will be given 2 cues when 1 minute is left and the other one when 30 seconds are left. So please make sure that you complete your pitch within the time that you're allotted. Judges, you'll see while you're asking questions a 2-minute mark given by Milena, just so you can wrap up the question answer session when you're asking those questions.
Right, let me tell you something beautiful. We have an esteemed panel of judges who are going to help us select the winner this afternoon, but they are not the only ones who can determine. You also have a voice. You can help us decide who's going to be the fan favorite among the competitors this afternoon, because guess what? Although they are the judges, like they say in political circles, power belongs to the people. Say it with me. Power belongs to the people. People, power. People, people. Come on. So to help me do that, please scan the QR code. You will see the list of all the 7 finalists, and then be ready to listen to them, listen attentively. And at the end of it, then you will be able to vote for your favorite, the one who has convinced you the most, and help us pick the fan favorite this afternoon. But that is also alongside the decision of the judges on who walks away with the $5,000 that we mentioned, alongside many other goodies this afternoon. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to lead us into the session and start hearing from the competitors. As I mentioned, we have two categories: land restoration and green business solutions. So we'll start with the competitors from the green business solutions. Allow me to call on stage Allow me to call on stage Ms. Oyungril Munkbat of Erifelt, Mongolia. Thank you very much. Join us on stage. Following, Mr. Shirag MG of Brown Red Agri-West Innovations of India. Thank you very much. And also following, Mr. Abdul Rahman Zaki of Kapmena from Egypt. Come on, come on. Thank you very much. And finally joining us this afternoon, Tamara Gondo of Liberty Society, Indonesia. Great. Are you guys ready? Are you ready to hear from the change makers? Brilliant. I think we are all ready. Are the judges ready? If the people and the judges are ready, Ozal and I are definitely ready. So first, to talk to us this afternoon and pitch and give us our pitch is Ms. Oyungril Munkbat of Erifelt, Mongolia.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ulaanbaatar, my hometown. My name is Oyungril Munkbat, and I'm the co-founder of Erifelt. And we're making air filters made from sheep wool in one of the most polluted capitals in the world. But we're not alone. 99% of the world population is breathing unhealthy air, according to the World Health Organization. So there's 100 of us, which means that if you do the math, only one of you is breathing normal, clean air. And that's definitely not me. And this leads to 7 million premature deaths globally just from indoor air pollution. And for the rest of the 99 of us, we use air filters to breathe clean air in our cars, in our buildings, in our home air purifier devices. But these use synthetic materials that are based on petroleum-based products. So at AERI, we came up with a 100% biodegradable solution for an air filter that is made entirely from sheep wool. We have a patented solution that replaces two filters, one from very fine dust and the other being an extremely harmful gases with a high filtration efficiency grade. We have sold 300 air purifiers with wool filters, most of them to pregnant women or mothers with children under 3. And now we are moving on to Vietnam and other markets with a market cap of $13 billion. So moving forward, we want to focus on our filter material and move to a B2B model where we supply filter manufacturers with the raw material of the sheep wool, roll wool material. And we have a factory underway, and it's currently marketed at $21 billion. And so far, we have prevented 1 ton of plastic waste from being emitted, and 300 families are breathing affordable clean air thanks to us. And we have also supported the livelihood of 3 herder families. In addition to being a social enterprise, AERI is also an intellectual property-based business, which means that we have 4 intellectual properties. We have 2 utility models, 1 design patent, and 1 trademark. And we have just filed for 1 technology patent, which means this innovation doesn't exist anywhere in the world right now. We have participated in many competitions, and the most recent of it being Shark Tank. We have successfully raised 180,000 American dollars. And we are now in the process of delivering a factory where we will scale to a production scale and export our filter material. We have a gender diverse young team rooted in science with 3 Masters of Science. And right now we're looking for partnerships and help to support us export to different markets and validate our impact in terms of biodegradability and greenhouse gas emission reduction. So I want you all to join us in our journey for healthy lungs and a healthy planet. Thank you very much.
All right, breathing clean without destroying the planet. Congratulations for your pitch. It's now time to hear from our judges. A reminder once again, we have time constraints and we will be giving you the cues when you run out of your time. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I thought I should start the ball rolling. You did mention that you have an IP, which is music to my ears, and it is the message of the day. So I'd like to ask you, just tell us a bit about your experience in using intellectual property. How useful was it as you go on asking investors for cooperation, for partnership?
Yeah, sure. So far, we've filed a patent starting from 2021 September through an IP agent, and it's been a very smooth process. But the fact that to export, we have to enter more than 3 markets, which means that within 30 months, we need like a capital investment of $60,000. And that's a lot for a startup that's just, 1.5 years old. So except for the capital constraints, it has been a smooth sailing.
Will be an investor for this IP as well.
Yes, please. Yeah, we've been also able to use our trademarks, and which has helped us actually land sales deals in Germany as well.
First of all, thank you very much for the pitch. I did have a question in regards to, are there any environmental impacts that arise when you're producing, and I think you should showcase this to the audience as well, when you're producing these filters in processing the wood? Like, is there any negative impacts in, I don't know, the treatment of that particular?
Sure. So the production doesn't use water, and it is as efficient as we can design it. And it has a very low energy consumption. But that's also because we're buying our wool when it's already washed and carted from suppliers. But the suppliers that we have are factories that already supply to the EU. So I'm guessing they already have some good regulations in place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I like the confidence. Just 2 issues. First one, what is the lifespan of your product when people buy it? And also looking at affordability. Lifespan of your product. Yeah. And also in terms of capacity utilization, where are you at the moment? Are you producing at full capacity? Why am I asking this? I'm looking at scalability. Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Okay. In terms of lifespan, currently the filters are used normally changed after 6 months. But it depends on the air pollution. So in Mongolia, in UB, some households change it after 2 weeks, and it's very dusty already. In terms of our scalability and the production capacity, we've been doing it like handmade and industrial level. So right now we're changing to a semi-production scale. So we don't know the scale of it yet. But with the existing wool resources, we have 10 times as much sheep as people in Mongolia, fun fact. So we won't run out of wool. And for the production, we will be able to supply one of the largest companies that we're currently discussing with throughout the year.
Thank you for the answer, for the pitch, and for the fun fact. My question is, who is your ideal customer? You mentioned women and pregnant women with children also. Why are these the population you're targeting? And can you expand why?
Yeah,
thank you.
Sure, thank you. In UB, we have really earth-shattering, heartbreaking statistics. Miscarriages are 3.5 times more likely to happen during polluted season, which means that pregnant women and mothers and young children are most at risk. And I say mothers with children under 3 because we have a special sales for them, as in we give like a 20% discount for those mothers because that's when the lungs are developing, right? So at those times, they need extra support. And women are usually like the decision makers in the household when it comes to buying air purifiers.
Thanks for your pitch. There are 2 questions. So one is about your team, your technical backgrounds, your and your team. And second, are you also making the devices, right? Apart from filters. So did you thought about like just making filters and supplying to big electronic players?
Yeah.
And what are your plans when you're competing with various big electronic players in the air filter markets?
I didn't catch the last question, sorry.
So I'm asking about like what are your plans to compete with the bigger players in the air filter markets, or just supplying just air filters to them, or also with device and air filters?
Yeah, okay. Good questions. Hold on, I'm losing them. First of all, air purifiers. So we're able to make the models in Vietnam and India. Just export our filters that can fit in them. So those we are distributors who are assembling all of the things, and we have actually 2 countries that are just talking about that. So we don't really have any plans to compete with Samsung or Xiaomi, for instance, because that doesn't really make sense in terms of the technology side. Firstly, that. Secondly, the filter manufacturers would buy our raw material and then put it into like different shapes and uses so that they can use it for industry or different other applications. So we're able to get to the market that has the least competition, but also cares a lot about sustainability. So the companies that I'm talking to are measuring their GHG emissions, and they're saying scope 3 is the highest, which means that on the user side, they're having the highest emissions. So having a biodegradable filter is an extremely fascinating selling point for them, buying or decision-making factor for them. Yes, so we have, I'm an environmental scientist. I've been working against air pollution for 7 years, doing public awareness, energy efficient housing mortgages, designing them, piloting them, financing them, consulting. And now I'm with ARI doing the project management. And we have our co-founder who's a biotechnologist who's worked as a researcher at the Chemical Technology Academy of Sciences in Mongolia. And we have other 2 Master of Sciences who have worked with Toilet and other filtration systems, and IoT engineers and industrial designers and things like that. We also just hired a CEO who has 20 years of experience. Thank you.
A round of applause for Ms. Oyung.
Sorry, we're not done roasting you. We can come back. No, just 1 minute.
Okay.
What is? Sorry, I might have lost it. What is the investment needed for this project? Investment?
$180,000.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A round of applause for Ms. Oyung Real Monkbat of Eirifelt from Mongolia. And thank you very much for sticking with the timelines. And thank you very much to our judges as well for the very, very, very good questions. Did you like her pitch? Well, don't make up your mind yet. The remaining ladies and gentlemen might surprise you even more. So it's now the chance of Mr. Chirag MG of Brown Reed Agri Waste Innovations from India.
You guys know that we use over 2 billion straws every single day? That's not the problem, you see. The problem becomes when this is made of plastic. A couple of weeks back, I was reading an article which was pretty interesting. So imagine this. You're watching the Saturday Night Live and eating a bowl of spaghetti. You burst out laughing and the spaghetti gets stuck in your nostrils. Very uncomfortable, isn't it? And now imagine there is a turtle in your place. And instead of the spaghetti, there is a plastic straw stuck in its nostrils. The poor thing has to roam across the ocean trying to find help. And we all have seen this video, haven't we? So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present Sunbird Straws today. And we're here to address 3 major problems. The world, as we have seen, is grappling with the use of single-use plastic. At the same time, agri-waste pollution has been on the rise. And third, rural women unemployment in India has been alarmingly increasing. Our solution is Sunbird Straws, the world's first drinking straws made from naturally fallen dried coconut leaves that can be customized to any length and diameter. And the best part, you can say goodbye to the soggy paper straws that just spoil your drinking experience. We have a very interesting business model. So we collect the dried fallen coconut leaflets from different parts of India and roll them into straws using the machines that we have built in-house. Currently, we are able to sell the straws at 1.5 to 1.75 cents per straw, while making a gross margin of 40%. It's a $20 billion US market, and the growing eco-friendly alternatives is a testament in itself. And it's a no-brainer. If your product is not scalable, affordable, and efficient, it will phase out. And as you can see in the competitive landscape, Sunbird Straws is at the right position and will become the best alternative in the market. This is the team that does the magic. This is the team that believes in creating social wealth through sustainable innovations. We have replaced over 2 million straws so far and have onboarded more than 40 different clients. And today we are looking to raise investment to replicate our business model both in domestic and internationally, and to expand our markets in different geographies. Today, I'm standing in front of you, not representing just my startup. I'm here on behalf of the collective efforts of over 100 women from the remotest part of India who get up every single day in the morning, collect the dried fallen leaflets, and roll them into straws, selling it to the grandest of hotels across the world. All the while helping our earth fight its battle against the single-use plastic, one straw at a time. Join us and let us be the change. Thank you.
Congratulations, Chirag MG of Brown Reed Agri-Waste Innovations India. Clearly some cool straws made from leaflets. But I might think it's cool, but I don't think, maybe the judges don't think it's cool, or maybe they think it's cool. So it's now time to hear from the judges. Thank you.
We're too distracted by the cool straws. Thank you so much for the pitch. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on your environmental impact.
Right. So these straws that you see, there are only two ingredients to that. One is the dried fallen leaflets, and the other is the food grade adhesive that we use. So there's only two raw material that goes there. So all these raw material, the dried fallen leaflets that you see, so all these were currently getting burnt in open kitchens and landfills. So we have stopped them and converted that waste into a resource. So every time we save 1 kg of this dried fallen leaflets from getting burnt, we contain close to 1.8 grams of carbon dioxide getting emitted to atmosphere.
Yeah. Oh, do you have a follow-up question? Okay. My question is in regards to how is your solution different from other solutions that are already out there at the market? I think it's not the first time I've heard of innovative ideas when it comes to straws. There's bamboo, there's many, even in Italy, some pasta as well being used. So how would you reason that?
So yeah, the first thing is, so this is in its purest form, the eco-friendly product that you can imagine. Because as I said, this is taken from the dried fallen leaflets, from the fields of the dried fallen leaflets, and converted them into straws. First. And second is, and the bamboo straws, for example, are super expensive. They're not exactly customizable. And the wheat straws and cane straws, they require, they use binders to make straws, and they require specialized industrial setup for it to be compostable. And they're brittle and not really customizable again. So Sunbird straws, on the other hand, it can be customized right from 4 mm Tetra Pak straws to the 12 mm bubble tea straws. So we can do any type of straws. And the best part is it has the shiny part that you see on the straw. So there is no chemical treatment to that. So every part of coconut has its own wax layer. So that particular wax layer is what gives that shining to the straw. So we don't use any other chemicals to it. So it's a chemical-free process as well.
Thank you. I think before the next question, I think it's only right to remind Mr. Chirag of people power that you're forgetting about us and only facing the judges. Thank you.
This is one simple question. You filed 10 patents, right? Could you tell us a bit about the 10 patents that you filed? What's it for? And is it only in India or in another country as well?
I'm so sorry, did I say 10 patents?
The 10 patents.
I'm so sorry, I must have slipped my tongue. So we have filed patents for the straws we have and for the machines that we have developed. So we have developed in-house. So we have 7 different machines to do the straws in 7 different steps. So we have patent for every single process. Plus, we have a patent for the straw design. So we have applied for a patent in India, and also under PCT. Just last year, we applied individual patents in both Europe and US Patent Office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What's your profit margin per straw?
So the gross margin is 40%, and that's the best part. 40%.
40%.
Yes.
And I didn't hear the story about the pens. I'm seeing pens here.
Oh yeah, pens is a very latest inclusion to our product portfolio. It's just been 6 months. We don't want to call ourselves as just a straw company. So we create social wealth through sustainable innovation. So we want to keep it as big as possible. So the pen that you see is a vertical innovation of the straw itself. So at some point in time, there was huge number of rejected straws with us. And instead of just throwing them, we converted those straws into pens. And then we understood that there is a big market for that as well. But this is something that we want to, probably focus on after we have finished the cycle for the straws. But for straws, our gross margin is 40%.
Thank you.
So, what are our daily operational challenges and how do you overcome that?
So we have two major challenges actually. So one, though we think the raw material we're getting for free, it's actually not free. So it is scattered in different parts of southern India, in different pockets of southern India, I would say. So collecting from different pockets, getting to our production center, because you've seen the coconut trees, right? I mean, they're huge. The branches are huge. Getting those huge fronds to our center itself, the logistics amounts to a very significant amount. So we have set up a hub and spoke model to address this challenge, where the coconut production, the straw production happens with leaflet collected from different spokes. Say in India, Pollachi is a huge belt for coconuts. So we have leaf processing center where they collect just the leaflet, process the leaflets and send it to a hub where the straws are rolled using the machines that we have built. So that is one. The second is the whitefly issue. So the leaf will be affected. The aesthetic part of the leaf will be affected if it is infested with whiteflies. So we are now, partnering NGOs and Indian government to better create awareness with the farmers. So that is a long-term goal that we have.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Can you tell us if you have any key partnerships and how do you plan to collaborate with others to make your business more successful and take it where it? Thank you.
Partnership with for marketing, you're saying, for sales?
Yeah.
So right now, our go-to-market strategy is to tie up with distributors in different geographical areas. Right now, we have one, say in Europe, that has good connection in the Benelux region. There's one major outlet there, which wants huge number of straws. So we have tie up with distributors who has experience in the eco-friendly business. So that's one way. And the second is the other challenge that I was talking about, where we're partnering with NGOs, local NGOs and the Indian government to raise awareness about taking care of the coconut farms so that in the long term, we get good quality leaflets.
How much funds you are raising and what these funds will be used for?
So right now we require $250,000 and 80% of that will be used for replicating the technology. So all this while, that was one constraint we had. Right now we have developed a technology that can roll out a straw in just under 2 seconds. So that has given us a platform to cater the global demand. So 80% of the funds will be used to replicate these machines in different parts of India and other countries as well. The rest will be used for marketing and operational expenses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. A great pitch.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chirag MG of Brown Reed Agri-Waste Innovations India. Allow me to hand this back to you, lest they say I am giving you overtime of advertisement. Thank you very much. Once again, before I welcome the next competitor to pitch to us, a reminder of the rules. People power. The questions might be tough, but we also want to listen to you and see how you respond to the questions. And I also believe that's the best way that you will see our cues about your time running out. Thank you very much. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome Mr. Abdul Rahman Zaki of Capmena from Egypt.
What's the relationship between your morning cup of coffee and the global warming? Maybe you could think at the global warming causes climate change and that's influence on agriculture. One of the agriculture crops that will be affected is coffee. So maybe your morning cup of coffee will not be exist in the future. That's a good theory. But what if I tell you that your morning cup of coffee is one of the causes for the global warming? How could that happen? My name is Abdurrahman and I'm social entrepreneur. 2.2 billion cup of coffee is drunk every day in the world, and that produce over 16 million tons of coffee ground around the year. This amount of coffee ground causes thermal emission, increasing carbon and methane, and those are the main causes for the global warming. Not to mention, wasting this amount of resource is a big loss for all of us. For that, we established Carbmina, a serial economy startup thing is a space of agriculture and waste management by maximizing the value of coffee ground to recycle it and use it in the agriculture sector. So what we are doing, we started with mushroom. We're using the spent coffee ground to grow different types of mushroom. The coffee is the main soil. It's about 92% of the soil. It makes mushroom grow faster. It takes 6 weeks with coffee instead of 3 months for any other kind of soil. Besides, it's giving the mushroom the high nutrition that it needs because coffee is full of nutrition and that makes the mushroom grow faster. Coffee is available everywhere and that's make it a low cost material to be able to make the mushroom and that affect positively and the cost of mushroom to make it affordable to the end user. Besides, we provide a variety for mushroom for our customer between pink and yellow. And we have a big opportunity in the market in Egypt and MENA region with a market size about $4.5 billion. But not only food security we do from coffee ground, but each kilogram we produce from coffee ground, we prevent about 147 grams of CO2 emission. What does it mean? It's equivalent like you charge your cell phone 18 times or you drove your car about half a kilometers. And that's how we do impact for ourselves and our partners, coffee chains, and also the end user. It's been a tough journey. We have produced over 7,000 kilograms of mushroom and collected over 3,000 kilograms of coffee ground and prevented about 26 tons of CO2 emission. We have made about $14,000 in revenues, and we have 5 coffee partnerships with coffee chains in 20 locations. A good idea isn't enough without a good team, and we have a perfect team actually for this, passionate about it, working hard to be able to do it, and 100% use and diversified about our board of advisors who make sure that we are going on the right track. Mushroom is not the only thing we do. We are doing other things. We supply coffee grounds for other raw material for other startup SMEs. We are going to launch organic fertilizer product next quarter, and next year we are going to launch 2 other coffee applications or coffee products and platform, B2B platform for impact reporting and data analysis. I'm a coffeeholic. I drink from 5 to 7 cups of coffee per day, but I decided to do something by launching and working on Carbmina. So you can do something else by being part of our change and supporting us. Thank you.
A round of applause for Abdulrahman Zaki of Carbmina from Egypt. Once again, as you can see, the audience is excited. And I promise you that you're going to hear even more incredible innovations as we move forward. But it's now time to face the judges.
Thanks for the pitch. So I have 2 questions. The brands you are working with, what is an average waste coming out from these brands per day?
I'm sorry?
What is the approx waste of coffee which is coming out from maybe Dunkin' or whichever brands you are working with?
Okay, each coffee chain actually depends on the area that it exists in, but in average, every coffee chain is produced about from 10 to 15 kilograms daily. So in Cairo, there's so many coffee chains. It's spreading actually because the people are drinking coffee more and more, and after time, and that's making the consuming for coffee is getting more. So when we use the coffee ground to grow mushroom, it's actually the 2 kilograms of coffee ground grow 1 kilogram of mushroom. So it's half the amount. So how that mushroom get the nutrition to be able to grow fast.
And second question, maybe once you scale, what are your plans for collection of this coffee waste from the centers?
Yes, we collected. Actually, we are working in 2 areas right now with 20 locations. It's 2 districts in Cairo. So we have a motorcycle guys. We are working collected every day tonight after the crowd because Cairo is a very crowded city and the collection is a bit hard. So we collected at the end of the day. There is a box inside every coffee chain. So the worker is going there and getting the box and put it in the motorcycle and go to the other one. We know that motorcycle had a bad affection because it could be having CO2 emissions. So we are replacing them with electric motorcycle to assure that our cycle is going in the right track, and we are having no any emissions or any bad damage environment.
Competition? Any competition in Cairo?
About the mushroom market or the coffee?
Everything.
Okay, so we are the first mover actually who are recycling the coffee ground to use it to grow mushroom or any agriculture product in Egypt in the MENA region. So the competition is still pure in Egypt and MENA region. But when it comes to coffee, there is other startup is using the coffee ground to do skincare products. Actually, we support the competition to be able to have more clients, because to be able to collect the coffee ground is very hectic operations, and we have managed this in the last 3 years, and that's opened the opportunity for us to be able to have more clients to supply them with coffee ground as the raw material. So competition actually is benefit for us to be able, because there is so many coffee and everyone can get out of it, and we would love to be able to have a competition to be able to have more impact for the environment.
Hi, thank you for the pitch. What an original idea. I also drink 5 to 7 cups of coffee a day. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more and expand on your challenges, and if you have learned maybe 1 or 2 key lessons over the past few years, and how are you trying to address those challenges?
For sure, thank you for the question. Actually, when we started, the first challenge that we faced, how to grow mushroom from coffee ground. To find the right recipe, it was a challenging. We spent about 18 months to be able to reach the recipe. So we said, we got it. Then we found there are problems in sales because we didn't have any experience in the mushroom market in Egypt. But after we got the right expertise to be able to go for it, okay, we got it. We can go for another challenge. The challenge actually is the regular one or the bigger one that we have faced about how to commercialize this. So we had 100 meters production unit in Cairo. It was producing about 100 kilograms of mushroom. The cost was very high for us. It actually was the double, and we were just losing. So that wasn't commercial to be able to scale it. It was a good idea, but it's not enough to be able to commercialize or to grow as a business to sustain ourselves. So we had to redesign the production unit from inside completely to be able to produce more mushroom. Now the 100 meters can produce 500 kilograms per month instead of 100. And actually we found the right way to make it to 700. So now we are establishing a new production unit in Cairo with a capacity about 3,000 kilograms of mushroom monthly. And actually that will be much easier for us. So the lesson that I learned, moreover you go, you will find more challenging things. You have to face it. So be open for it and listen to your customer, because it's important to have listen to them to be able to provide a more easier product and facilitated for them.
I just have a question. It's not very technical, but how come from coffee you end up with mushrooms? Like, for me, those two concepts were never connected. So I was just wondering, like, how did the idea came about, basically, of how to reuse these coffee residues and then having mushrooms out of it? So thanks.
Actually, that's what I said to my co-founder when he pitched the idea to me to be able to start doing this. So the idea got to my partner Muhammad. He's a coffeeholic as well. We are a co-founders, coffeeholics people. So he found there is opportunity in coffee ground, but he didn't know which application that we can go for. At the beginning, we are going to biodiesel, but it needs a lot of resource and money and expertise, and we didn't have it. Then we decided to go to skincare or medical, but we didn't have the experience. Then we met our third co-founder Mahmoud. He has the expertise actually in mushroom, and he told us that the coffee ground has all the nutrition to be able to grow it. You just need to find the right recipe and add some other components to make sure that you have the right recipe. And we spent 18 months doing this, and finally you can see how it looks beautiful. And yes, we can grow mushroom from coffee. And actually there is another thing that we can do from coffee ground, not only mushroom. There is over 16 applications, over 16 products we can do from it. You just need to find the right way and recipe, and you can do the magic.
Just a quick follow-up. You said finding the right way, learning the lessons. It took you 18 months. I think those are basis for intellectual assets and intellectual property. Something to consider. No question on my side, just a comment.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Right, do we still have some time, or we have exhausted your time? All right, a round of applause for Mr. Abdulrahman Zaki from Ecopreneur in Egypt.
Now, last in this category, we have Ms. Tamara Gondo from Indonesia. Ms. Tamara, the stage is yours.
Please clap for her as she begins her presentation.
When I took this photo, this was taken in the streets of Jakarta, and this woman, devoid of her rights to work and education, she's starving there, trying to rebuild her life and dreams for her children, but she can't find any. As I was sitting in my car, on my left side of the window, I saw mega cities, polluted, lots of resources, and then on the other side, scavengers and women holding their baby and not knowing how to get out of the cycle of poverty. That's when I started asking, how can corporations and social communities work together? We, Liberty Society, manufacture eco-friendly goods for socially conscious companies empowering women. Through our three services, goods and gifts, we help companies do greener procurement. We turn corporate waste into new ways that they can engage their stakeholders, customers, employees, and partners. And also we help them storytell through campaigns such as workshops, events, and then seminars. A lot of companies out there are asking, I want to do ESG in a way that's scalable, replicable, and measurable. What we do is, instead of these waste turning into the landfill, we turn them into a revenue generator for our corporate clients. Their waste now can be resold as product bundles or merchandises to make their employees proud that they're working in their company. These are just the different types of waste that we work with: plastic bags, plastic bottles, paper waste, and also textile waste. We're able to process tons of waste in a cost-effective manner. Championing upcycling for textile and plastic waste with 150 of some of the world's best brands. We upcycle 2 tons of waste that increases 3 to 4 times of the people that work with us, and at the same time training 200 refugees and women in need. We're just beginning. This year, with your help, we're aiming to go global, and we're ready to scale to the European and the Western market. So far, every year we've grown 100% year on year, achieving 300,000 in revenue for our happy clients. With 87 media notable mentions and also winning the UN Women Empowerment Principles Award last year, we're led by a team with 20 years experience in APAC. Myself would work with nonprofit, venture capital, and also social impact sector. I'm proud to say that 80% of our team are youth-led and also women. I have 100 people in our Seamstress network, and 10% of our proceeds is given back for our tailoring to employment program. For a woman like her, as an adult, she says, I learned a lot, not just sewing, but lessons for life. I feel confident I can do it. With your help, with upskilling, community support, and access to market with Liberty Society, if just one of you here would get 1,000 of that tote bag over there, we can reach our goal of empowering 1,000 artisans. We're only 20% away from our goal, and we would be very happy to make an impact with you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tamara Gondo of Liberty Society Indonesia, for your fantastic pitch. And it's once again your time to face the judges.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Thank you for the pitch. My question is, how do you connect? What is your strategy to connect with these marginalized populations and refugees? And what are some of your training strategies?
Thank you for the question. That's important. So as a social enterprise, it's a little bit different because we work with a nonprofit. We have about 10 networks of refugee-led artisans in Indonesia that we partner to help us source and select. We come in with entrepreneur coordinator to oversee and do our tailoring program. It's a 3 months long and a 6 months long program where we measure increase in income, the hours of productivity, and the increase in social well-being. So our team do the pre and post. We train the local nonprofit coordinators so that then they're able to oversee this team that will end up, we're giving the orders and then we're sourcing from them.
Are there any eligibility requirements to be accepted in these programs?
Absolutely. In a way, it's always very gender inclusive, but we take a look at the commitment levels that they're able to. Even though the program can be also for women who has kids and work from home, what we do is we ensure that we work and create the curriculum based on what the women are able to commit to. So it's 3 hours and then a break, and then we kind of create the program that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Tell me 1 or 2 challenges that can make your program fail.
A lot of companies out there see that sustainability is expensive. So one of the biggest barrier when we talk to companies in the multinational levels, they would always say, we just need a quick ESG solutions for a year. Our program, to make it cost effective for them, needs to be in the 3 to 5 years long run. So example, we work with a banking company, all these ATM cards, about 4 tons. For 2 years, they only pay 3,000 to remove those waste. With us, maybe they have to invest in making 100,000 pouches for that to become the same level of cost when they're procuring other tote bags. So that's one challenge. Do you want to go to the second challenge? That's good. Thank you.
So, apart from corporate partners, are you also planning for e-commerce or B2B market? For B2B market or e-commerce site, apart from corporate partners, are you planning to enter into that market also? E-commerce, online, and B2B market?
Yes. B2C markets, we're not there yet. We work with B2B professional services firm, usually retailers, wholesalers. FMCG is our next part of the development progress because we see a lot of FMCG waste. We're now talking about plastic credits that these FMCG companies are producing tons. So where we want to go is really be able to scale up and get really curated partners who work with us, this B2B, who's able to commit. Let's work together, grow up our skill of capacity while being able to solve, because no one is really solving the problem, and a lot of these companies end up just paying to get their waste removed.
I was just talking to Diana here. She's got a lot of money. What investment would you require to scale up your project? How much money investment would you require?
Okay, thank you. We are bridge fund loan financing at the moment for 50,000 for us to go 30% into human resources, 30% into marketing, and 40% into capital, which is machines, and the rest to increase our capacity. At the moment, we're not equity fundraising because we already closed the round, but we're looking into fundraising in next year, 2024, after we prove more of our revenue to become 300,000 to 500,000, and then we're opening it up for the regional market, specifically the US.
Maybe an IP question. You work with artisans, so you create things, right? There are designs and patterns. How do you manage that, dealing with many artisans?
Yes. Our production reject rate is less than 3%. In our business, when we take a look at mass manufacturing, that's something that we have to maintain, where artisan is very handcrafted. So really our key is in the training program. The local coordinator that goes into these communities, but also we're vetting the trainers for each communities. We're not open source artisan marketplace because we only have about 15 locations of artisan community we work with, and that is very much still manageable for us, producing about 10,000 quantity per month.
How many designs come out every month? Is that thousands?
Designs, in terms of product SKUs, we have 50, and we're only championing top bestseller about 10, and we're not looking to scale them up, but rather it's made to order, because when our client places the design, that's when we make it for them.
Very manageable.
Yes, more sustainable.
And well, a round of applause for Ms. Tamara Gondo of Liberty Society from Indonesia. She was the final competitor to pitch under the category of green business solutions. I don't know, how did you guys find the ideas? You had it, guys. And because of that, one of you at the end of this will get to walk away with pitch training, capacity building, pro bono legal services, as well as support on the protection of intellectual property, courtesy of our partners. And just to add some icing on the cake, the winner will walk away with $5,000 to support their business. A round of applause. And because you sound excited, remember that QR code I gave you? Please keep it. We still need to hear from 3 more. So anyway, before we hear from the last ones, allow me to discharge from the stage the 4 finalists under the Green Business Solutions. Clap for them. Oyin Green parts of Airy Felt. You. Mongolia, Chirag MG of Brand Grid Agri-Waste Innovations India, Abdul Rahman Zaki of Kapmena Egypt, and Tamara Gondo of Liberty Society Indonesia.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have another category. The winners of this category will also get a prize of $5,000. So I would like to call the finalist of the land restoration category, Mr. Max Fontaine of Bonde International from Madagascar. Miss Mayuse Christina Guisson, Soma Life from Ghana. And finally, Mr. Mashroor Hussain of iPage, all the way from Bangladesh. As a reminder again, you have 3 minutes for the pitches, 7 minutes for the question and answers. You will be given cues by Milena over there. Max Fontaine, the stage is yours.
So if I say Madagascar, the first words that are going to come to your mind are poverty, biodiversity, or the movie. And I know it's not that wrong. And indeed, we are amongst the poorest countries in the world and one of the most vulnerable to the effect of the climate change. And we've seen a lot of initiatives to try to develop the rural areas of Madagascar, but so few of them have lasted. Why? Because these projects weren't profitable. And if you want an initiative to be sustainable, be sure to make it profitable. Now, let's experience the transformative power of reforestation and sustainable agriculture. How we do that? We have 3 revenue streams. The first one is that we support companies to attain their ESG goals through tree planting projects. The second one is the carbon credits. Through every ton of carbon that our trees sequester, we can issue 1 credit that can then be sold on the voluntary carbon market. And the last one is the cash crops. It's our own investment in agricultural projects such as cocoa, coffee, or bamboo. We've partnered with almost 1,000 farmers in Madagascar. And we don't like to call them beneficiaries. We like to call them the first responders because they are the real solution to fight the climate change. Not you, not us. They are the real one, even though they are the first victims. So far, we have planted more than 1 million trees, and we use 2 tech innovations to monitor them. The first one is the tree tracking. Each tree can be taken into picture, geotagged, and then stored into the blockchain for more transparency with all our stakeholders. The second innovation is the satellite monitoring of our parcels. We have more than 3,000 volunteers because for us, it's really important to show to the Malagasy youth that they can be part of the solution and we don't have always to wait from government or foreign NGOs. Since the beginning, every year, we at least doubled our revenues thanks to our 45 partners in 5 continents. And none of this would have been possible without our amazing 110 full-time collaborators who have highly skilled profiles, but mostly diversified profiles. We have, for instance, PhDs in environmental project, reforestation, agriculture, meteorology, social project management, financial analysis, and it's the mix of all these skills that make our model so unique. So if you want to develop with us green techs, or if you want to generate projects to fight desertification, food hunger, or just restore land, please, let's bond together for a greener and more inclusive future. Thank you.
Thank you for the great pitch, Max. Judges, please.
I'll start with the first question. Actually, I have 2 questions. The first one is I would like you to develop a bit about what are the operational challenges that you're experiencing. By your presentations, it seems that you involve a lot of volunteers and that you are heavily involved in mangrove restoration in different locations. So I want to know about the challenges. And the second one is linked to the volunteers. So you explain how the first responders are involved into your initiative. So what are they gaining in this? How are they involved in the process, and what is the things that they gain from this?
Thank you for the questions, Paula. So for the first one, our challenges, we have so many challenges in that kind of project, you can imagine. The biggest one is to work, with different local context. We work in 8 regions of Madagascar, and in each region, you have to get along with the local authorities, to present your project, and to make it accepted by the populations. It already happened to us that we didn't went into a region because the population wasn't that, willing to work with us. And in that case, it's okay to withdraw. For the volunteers, so the 1,000 farmers we work with, they are farmers, they work on the land, and we make agroforestry projects on their land. We partner with them, so we bring the technical assistance, we have the 3 nurseries, and then we make the follow-up of the project for 5 years with them. For the volunteers, it's the youth from urban areas that come to plant the trees with us, and we don't win money on that. It's not a business. It's just to inspire other youth.
So 2 questions. First, have you registered your project with Vera or Standard Gold?
So now we are designing it for Vera for the mangroves project and for the devices project with gold standards.
After that, you can start selling the carbon credits. Carbon credits you already started?
No, we have secured fundings for the PDD and the pilot projects that we have already started. We have already planted mangroves that are going to be certified, but we haven't generated the credits yet.
So how you're making revenues now?
How
you're making revenues now?
Yeah, we make revenues because the partners fund us, because they want to secure the partnership, because a lot of people want to get into the carbon credits market, but not many companies can manage projects such as these ones.
Hi, thank you for the pitch and your presentation. So I was wondering if you could elaborate on the environmental impact, specifically on if there are any metrics or any systems you use to measure, for example, carbon sequestration and so forth. Thank you.
Okay, so the environmental impact for us, the environmental impact and the social impact, or we put them on the equal side, and for all of them, we have clear metrics to monitor them. For the environmental one, of course, there is the carbon sequestration. So for the mangroves project, for the carbon credit, we use the Vera's methodology for a small and large-scale mangroves project. But we have also partnered with the University of Antananarivo, the capital of Madagascar, to have our own methodology, for smaller projects, and that is more adapted to the local context, to the local species. And we have already done this methodology with the university. Then, of course, the other environmental impact, or when you restore land, Madagascar has huge drought. We have actually the biggest famine in the world due to climate change. So when you plant trees, of course, you make water come again. And by improving the livelihood of communities, you can strengthen their abilities to not rely on natural resources. And then indirectly, you also protect, the primary forest. You can protect our biodiversity. And this is also another environmental impact that we have.
Thank you.
I can just ask a funny question. What's with the name Bondi?
The?
Bondi.
Okay, so Bondi means in Malagasy 1 million, because our initial project, when we were not even a startup, just an idea, was to plant 1 million trees. So even if now we have planted more than 1 million trees, we kept the name because it's part of our history, and we are proud to keep that name.
Thank you.
And the investment you need?
So for the carbon credits project, of course, it's the biggest amount. It's about a minimum $7 million per plot. And then for the cash crops, actually, we're only looking funds for the coffee project, and for the R&D, we are looking for $100,000.
US dollars or?
Yes, US dollars.
7 million US dollars.
Yes, exactly.
How many funders or CSR projects you have now on go?
How many founders?
How many funders
Okay.
you have now?
For
CSR projects you are going on?
So for the CSR project, we have 45 companies that funded us. And for the carbon credits, for now, we have only partnered with one company.
Thank you,
Max,
Max,
everyone.
for the great pitch. Now I would like to ask Ms. Mause of Soma Life from Ghana.
Hello. I'm Mause. I grew up in the poorest region in Ghana, where I experienced first-hand poverty with my family. At the age of 9, I began selling water in the local market to support my family. That was when I came closer to rural women who walked about 32 kilometers to the market to sell and end up with no profits. To empower these women out of poverty, I co-founded Soma Life with a mission to sustain income and impact for rural people in West Africa. Unfortunately, this is the reality of over 60 million women share producers who are responsible for a $2 billion share industry, but they and their households live on less than $2 daily. Now, what we see as a side effect of this problem is that because they are poor, they go ahead to cut down these same valuable share trees for charcoal production, leading to deforestation. This is how Soma Life comes in. We use our software tree sites to digitize the share value chain by recording all engagement with farmers, starting with tree planting, tree monitoring, trainings we undertake with them, and package transactions. Through this, we are able to generate actionable insights for global food and cosmetic manufacturers who use our traceability data for their ESG reporting. Hence, they are willing to pay more for the share commodity. And we go a step further to resource the women to improve their livelihood and their environment. Then finally, we connect them to international markets who pay them fair wages. That is how the women make money, and we also generate revenue as a business. Our conservation efforts is in two folds. The first one, we concentrate on protecting existing share trees from deforestation. Right now, we've been able to protect over 600 acres of share trees from deforestation. The next one is on restoration. We do this by empowering the women and training them to raise share seedlings from scratch and transplant them. So far, we've been able to raise about 25,000 share seedlings. In terms of our impact, we've been able to connect over 7,000 women share producers to market, earning more than 22% extra income. This also translated to over $1 million in revenue for us as a business, and we are also profitable as a business. We are asking for partners. We are looking for partners in the area of conservation, digitization, and also we are raising $2 million for our scale-up plan this year. This is the team. My co-founder is John Carl. Tom is our CFO. HR is Elon. These are the list of our partners who are helping to deepen our impact in the share value chain. Why don't you join this mission? Thank you.
Wow, what a great pitch. Now you have to face some questions from the judges.
Soma Life.
Yes,
Soma Life. It's a good name.
Thank you. It means
what does it
life.
mean? Yeah, see, I told you, Soma Life. Yeah. So you said women make money from this.
The share, yes.
Yeah. In average per month, how much do they make from this initiative, if you can?
Ooh. Well, we calculate the share is a seasonal crop from August all the way to February every year. So we are able to calculate per year. So yearly they can get about $300,000 per year. Okay. Yes, if we buy from them, and they also get to sell to other competitors like us.
Thanks.
Just a follow-up question. What are exactly, just for us to envision, the products that these women are selling? Like the result of the shea tree, like what is it exactly the produced product?
You want to know what the shea tree is used for?
Yes, do they do like after that, do they do different products out of that? Are
Yes.
the manufacturing processes different types of products or?
Yes, so we have, we sell both the raw shea nuts and shea butter. For the shea butter, because we are organic certified, we have to control the process. So we have a processing facility where the same women come to process, and they are paid for the volume they process every year. And then we export to Europe, Netherlands, and Asia. Yes.
Another follow-up question. You're selling the shea international, that's giving you the revenues that you need, right?
Yes.
Are you selling it with a brand, or are you selling it without a brand?
Okay, when you say
With a name attached to it, or simply as a generic product being bulk purchased, bulk exported? It's just a question.
Okay, so for now, we do not have our own label sort of. We sell to businesses. So they are going to transform it into food, cosmetics. So we don't have our own brand yet, but we are planning to have a cosmetic line, which is still under development. It's still very early.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Another follow-up question. You mentioned you're connecting the shea farmers in international markets. What markets exactly? Which countries are you targeting?
Right now, majority of our customers are from Europe, so Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Italy. Then we have some in US, and then India. So I would say Asia. Yes.
Can you tell me more about your background, your and your team background?
My personal background. So before I started Suma Life, I worked with some development organizations, including GIZ and AFC, where I was giving capacity building trainings, market linkages, financing to vegetable farmers and soya beans producers in northern Ghana. Before I started Suma Life, it was there I saw the gap in the shea value chain, and also based on the fact that I grew up with shea producers, I decided to do something about this. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mawuse. Now, last in the land restoration category, we have Mr. Mashroor Hussain, iPage from Bangladesh.
Hi everyone, I'm Mashroor, the co-founder of iPage Bangladesh. We are an agricultural information tech company, and we empower small farmers to combat climate change by equipping them to make informed decisions. So, to give you a bit of context on Bangladesh, despite being the 7th most climate vulnerable nation in the world, Bangladesh deploys 70% of its active workforce in agriculture, and yet majority do not understand agriculture correctly. Lack of access to actionable information on soil, weather, and climate-smart farming practices is the core problem that we are trying to solve through our site and crop-specific digital agronomic advisory system. Our small farmers do not understand their soil and tend to apply more fertilizer, especially urea, expecting higher yield. But the damage it does to their soil, the greenhouse it emits to the environment, and the cost of production it increases through the malpractice are yet to be realized by the farmers. That's why core of our solution is a digital soil testing device that can test the soil of the farmer right on site and generate a site and crop specific digital prescription within 5 to 7 minutes that tells the farmer what are the high value crops suitable for the land, which variety they should pick, and of course, what is the variable rate of fertilizer they should be applying for better yield. Our system also sends automated voice calls and messages to the farmer, reminding them of their requirement of applying split fertilizers at different phases of their production journey. We started back in 2020 with only 50 farmers, and right now we are serving more than 8,000 farmers, helping them to reduce their cost of production by 25%, increasing their yield by 12%, and reducing their urea usage by 40%. Of course, that means lesser damage to the soil, right? And in this process, we have also managed to prevent roughly 2 million kg equivalent of carbon dioxide to be emitted from the farmer's field annually. To commercialize our advisory service operation, we have introduced a bundle package-based service model, business model, which helps the farmer to get access to a suite of products and services from our B2B partners based on the recommendation that we generate. Right now, we are raising a $750K investment, majority of which will be going to onboard more farmers, because the more farmer we get, the more data we have, the the more precision we can deliver. The competitive landscape seems challenging. However, the thick pile of farm data and the significant numbers of partnerships we have developed with governments, INGOs, bulk buyers, banks are giving us the competitive edge. We are being run by a team of 35 members, including engineers, data scientists, soil scientists, agronomists, and business people. And with all these hands in deck, we believe we are one of the finest teams in the Asian region who could transform the agriculture practice of the small farmer using local talent and technology. So, support us in this journey of empowerment with investment, partnerships, contracts, and let us help the farmer to fight climate change better. Thank you.
What a powerful voice. Now put that to the test, judges.
So what is your month-to-month growth?
Sorry?
What is your month-to-month growth?
In terms of revenue, 26%.
What is the cost of your device? The
So
soil
we didn't sell the device. So we do not even sell the service to the farmer directly. So we cross-monetize the service operation from the commission that we from the product sold by our partners. Yep.
And the data what you are generating, you're selling to what kind of stakeholders?
We are not selling the data, of course not. We are selling the insights from the data, and usually that has a commission margin of 2 to 5% of the total volume of product or service that our B2B partners sell to our farmer.
Okay. And have you raised funds?
Yeah, we have. So we have raised private investments from angel investor, also a number of impact blended finance from the Swiss government, Dubai government, and Bangladesh government.
Maybe a non-IP question. You're doing a lot of things, and you're trying to earn from farmers, from the data, from the vendors and suppliers. So what's your main economic engine? What's giving you the money?
So the insightful data, that is the main revenue driving engine. So basically, if I understand your question correctly, so basically, we treat the farmer as our B2C user. So the more they use our advisory, the more data we capture. And then using those data, we generate valuable insights for our B2B partners. So that is the moment we actually make the money.
I had two questions. The first one is, I want to know more about what are the challenges that you are experiencing working in farmer communities in Bangladesh. And the second one is in regards to scalability. So how many locations you're working currently? Are you willing to, or are you looking forward to expanding? And if so, what are your plans?
So regarding the challenges, yes, I will give you the most important one. So the behavioral blockade of the farmers in accepting this kind of data-driven practices. So, and we are organizing demonstrative operations to help the farmer understand how this could change the way that they think. Answering to your next question regarding the scalability, yeah, so it's a interoperable and highly scalable technology that we have developed. Already we have been working with a number of Middle Eastern and Asian startups and companies to help them to adopt our technology, because no one has to invent a wheel again, right? So with proper calibration and integration, our technology is capable of scaling any part of the world, including the MENA region and African region. Yep.
Thanks for the presentation. My questions may be taking a little bit back to the basics. I just want to understand better why this data, climate smart data and advisory service are so needed in Bangladesh and for these farmers. If I'm a smallholder farmer in Bangladesh, why should I buy these services? And why is it better than other services that are in the market? Thanks.
So a straight question answer is that traceability. So by bringing this data, we are creating a traceable farm production phenomena. So if we talk about governments, they always want to mark and track what they're doing, what their farmers are doing, at which point, with whom. So that kind of traceability is important, and our data is helping the governments in doing that. If we talk about banks, like we have partnered with a couple of local private banks in Bangladesh and secured $5 million of agricultural finance for our farmers, because our data help the banks to do their KYC in more appropriate way. So basically, this data-driven traceability is giving direct access to the end user for the B2B customers.
Sorry, I didn't get it. What makes you better than your competitors?
Sorry?
What makes you better than your competitors?
Oh, a patent.
Better.
Okay, so in local region, we have so many startups working on a particular part like agri-fintech or agricultural market access or agricultural machine service access. But to have a bird's eye view of the entire ecosystem, we need to have data, right? And that's what iPage has. So to understand the local ecosystem, we believe we have the fine tool, the data. So that makes us different from the local competitors.
I have a question in regards to capacity building. So you deploy these sensors, you get the data, and then you give the insight. That result is what you sell to the farmers. But are they able to interpret those results? Are they able to implement it correctly? Do you do any type of training or capacity building? How are they able to understand the results of the data collection? And are they sustainable? Are they able to implement it long term, or do you have to come back after a certain time and then redo the analysis? Like how does this work?
So first of all, yes, we of course organize capacity building training for the farmer. And there's an interesting part. Our go-to-market strategy allows us to partner with the government extension workers and the local NGO that are already been working with the farmer, the rural community. So we train the staff of the NGOs or the government workers so that they can render the benefit of our service to the farmer in a more local language. So that is how we are strategizing our impact operation. Yep.
So subscription model for the farmers, it's month-to-month basis or yearly basis?
Season-to-season basis. Season.
And do you also give data insights to the agrochemical factories? Agrochemical factories?
Agro input. Yeah, definitely. They are one of our biggest paying clients. Yeah, because they need to understand their market. They need to plan their marketing operations. That's why they're also supporting us.
Integrity of the data. What's your oversight mechanism for that?
Sorry?
What's your oversight mechanism to ensure the integrity of your data? Because that will be a liability and a risk for the company. Right?
So it's an end-to-end encrypted system. No one can actually provide the data in a different way, number one. And the integrity of the data is being ensured by a number of local and global data management regulations. So we do adhere to those regulations to ensure the maximum integrity of the data that we collect and the insight that we generate. Recently, we were supported by the Swiss Embassy in one of the impact program where they have helped us to design a perfect and a fair data management and impact management process. Using that process, the tool, we are now better able to manage the integrity of the data and the insight that we generate.
All right. A round of applause for that passionate pitch by Mr. Mashur Hussain of iPage from Bangladesh. A reminder once again, as the passion goes up, please do not forget about people power, because we still have another chance to go away with the people's vote this afternoon. Thank you very much. Those were the three finalists under the land restoration category. Just a reminder, Max Fontaine of Bondi International from Madagascar, Mawuse Christina Gisum from Soma Life in Ghana, as well as Mr. Mashur Hussain of iPage from Bangladesh. Did you guys enjoy the pitches? And the judges, did you enjoy the pitches? Wonderful. I know we all enjoyed, but just in case either of you or one of you hasn't quite made up their mind yet, we might just give you another final chance, Ozal.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm an entrepreneur myself and we face tremendous challenges, I would like to give all of these finalists another chance. So I would like to please call on stage the finalists from the Green Business Solutions category and stand over here according to the order that you guys presented in. Now, as entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter if you haven't found the funding or if you have found the funding, you will face challenges all your life. So you've put yourself in a position where you'll just go through pain. There is a great quote by Mr. Simon Sinek which says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And this is the driving force behind all the entrepreneurs. There is this one burning why which pushes you to do these things to make the world a better place. And I would like to hear from all of you in just one sentence why you should be crowned the winner of the Youth Ecopreneur Award.
Hi again. If you think the rest of us 99 people who can't breathe clean air deserve to breathe clean air without hurting the planet, please do vote for us. Thank you.
Hi. So we tackle the global plastic pollution one straw at a time while building resilient communities across rural India. Thank you.
Hi again. I traveled for 28 hours for 1,000 miles to be able to give my startup a chance to have the source to innovate a new product and say, invest in R&D. So I believe that I have the chance or opportunity to have your vote. Thank you.
When we invest in women, we invest in communities. $5,000 means we can buy 10 sewing machines to give 10 women the ability to increase their income by 3 to 4 times. For every $1, you're investing $4 in us and our communities in the next 1 year. Thank you.
So we want to win this challenge because with the $5,000, we will organize a Sustainable Development Day in one of our projects with the young people of Madagascar to show them that our actions are being echoed beyond our borders. And I can guarantee you that in less than 10 years, there will be another Malagasy company at the finale of the WEDF, yeah.
For me, winning this award will not just go to accelerate the results we have started in Ghana, but it will also be a seed of inspiration to hundreds of young ladies like me in my community to take advantage of the opportunities in West Africa in conserving our environment and protecting our planet as well. Thank you.
Okay. So we need to win this because by letting us win, you are empowering the 900 million of small farmers in the global south to fight climate change better and continue to feed the future. Thank you.
A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our 7 finalists this afternoon. I love the passion, I love the ideas, I love the dedication, and I wish you all the best. I hope the judges are satisfied and they got enough time to grill you, and we wish you all the best from Ausal and myself. But remember that in addition to the $5,000 that the winner will be taking home this afternoon, we will also benefit from other facilities. And I'd like to remind you why this is important. In addition to the $5,000, you are going to benefit with pitch training. And this is for all the finalists, by the way, if you win the $5,000 or not. Pitch training, capacity building, specialized support on intellectual property protection, especially for the brilliant ideas that you have, pro bono legal services, and also finally, international exposure before international markets. So thank you very much. That is to highlight the importance of today's pitch. But remember, I want to end the way we began. How did we begin? People? People? Yes, people power. And at this point, I want to have a quick exercise for all of you in the room, especially the audience. I need each one of you to quickly pull out your phones because we want to give power back to the people. In addition to the decision of the judges, we also want to have a fan favorite. So please quickly scan the QR code that you have on your screen, and based on the passionate pitches and the appeals and the ideas and the innovation of these young men and women who want to change the world, please go right ahead and decide who you want to walk away, of course, to be the fan favorite this afternoon. Thank you very much. Has everyone gotten a chance? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of this afternoon's wonderful, amazing session. that we have had, the final pitching session of the Youth Ecopreneur Awards of 2023. Allow me to, first of all, thank the participants or the competitors who have passionately made their pitch before the judges and before the audience this afternoon. I'll start on my far right, Ms. Oyumril Munkbat of Erifeld from right here in Mongolia, Mr. Chirag MG of Brown Reed Agri-Waste Innovations from India, and next to him, Mr. Abdul Rahman Zaki from Kapmena from Egypt. A round of applause, please. And finally, from the first category of Green Business Solutions, Ms. Tamara Gondo of Liberty Society, Indonesia. In the second category, we also had the pleasure of hearing from Mr. Max Fontaine of Bondi International, Madagascar. We also heard from the brilliant Mawuse Christina Yisun of Soma Life from Ghana. And finally, this afternoon, we heard from Mr. Mashroor Hossein of iPage from Bangladesh. So thank you very much. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank another special set of the brilliant judges who helped us this afternoon. I'd like to start on my far right, Mr. Andrew Ong, the Director of Regional Bureau for Asia and Pacific for the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. A bigger clap, please. Yes, Ms. Paula Padrino Villela, Program Manager for Land Restoration at the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Ms. Diana Caballo, the Program Manager at Sydney Austin LLP. Mr. Alan Majuru, the Chief Executive Officer of Zimtrade. And finally, Mr. Vedant Gandhi, the co-founder and director of Recyclex. A big round of applause for the judges. This would not be possible without the partners. I'd also like to thank the partners led by, of course, the organizers, the International Trade Center. A huge round of applause. The partners and sponsors of this event, G20 Global Land Initiative, a big round of applause. Google Startups for Sustainable Development, a big round of applause. And finally, the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. A big round of applause for the sponsors, please. I need a big one. Thank you very much. And as we come to the close of this event, I know most of you are really eager to find out. So who's walking away with the big prize? I'm gonna need to urge you to be a little bit patient because we are going to find out about the winners, the two winners from both categories at the closing ceremony of the World Export Development Forum 2023 tomorrow, that is on Wednesday. And this will be announced by Ms. Pamela Koch-Hamilton. She's the Executive Director of the International Trade Center. And then we will also know who emerged as the fan favorite from the voting that was ongoing. But as we bring this to a close, I have a quote because my co-moderator, Ozal, is a fan of quotes. And this is to say that this is from an American philosopher. His name is Howard Zinn. And it says, we don't have to engage in grand, heroic actions to participate in the process of change. Small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can transform the world. All this to say that although we are going to have only 2 winners from this 7, all the 7 of them are already winners because they are trying to change the world. And no, on this 7, remember, came from another 400 that we had to select. All those 400 are also winners because they are trying to change the world. What am I saying? Even you, in your own capacity, if you're trying to bring change in society and in our lives today, you are a winner. Thank you very much. That means I'm not done. I have a song. I have a song. It says, we are dreamers, we are winners, and we make it happen. As the song comes, we will have some quick pictures with the judges and the participants. And we will also, after the judges and the participants, we will also ask our sponsors and the organizers to also join us on stage, the ITC, Google, and other partners. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one huge final round of applause.
We are the dreamers, we make it happen, cause we can see it. Let's do the world.